Yes.
Please repeat the question.
Not related to the whole idea of the Maimon, but a small part of it you were mentioning about the importance of Simcha, this other central concept of Rabbi Nachman, and how it can start the vibration upward and lift us out of the klipa. So I'm just wondering, what is your suggestions or advice? I deal with a lot of very sick people, some of whom are terminally ill, they're hospice patients, some of whom are dealing with physical limitations, physical pain in their physical limitations, as well as the emotional pain of watching themselves go from these very independent people to very limited, dependent people, some of whom are so demented that can't actually have a conversation with them.
So the question in essence is, how do we attain this elusive simcha? And this is really one of the most important questions we can ask.
How can I help these people?
I'd like to answer you, if I may, with a little detour first. There is in London, my native city, a place called the National Portrait Gallery, where you have pictures of the faces of people, generations and generations, because of course before the 1850s or whatever, there was no such thing as a photograph. And it's always struck me, the most interesting thing, that if you look at pictures of almost anybody in the past, they are never smiling. They're very somber, solemn portraits of people with great koved rosh, seriousness. There was in Rome, there was a noun that describes like gravitas, gravity. Today, if you look at any celebrity in entertainment, any politician, any meeting of world leaders, they're all ecstatically happy, all smiling, all laughing. And this is expressed in our Holy Zohar, which speaks about how the klipa deceives people and laughs at them. We have in Hebrew the expression "Hasha'ah mesacheket lahem," the hour plays with them and makes them laugh. And that's what makes the whole question of simcha so very difficult for us, because we live in a society which glorifies the counterfeit simcha, the simcha that comes when, you look like this person who's just putting that deodorant, you've got the gleaming teeth of this person who uses that toothpaste, you've got the looks of this person with this fashion. In other words, the society has this counterfeit simcha which associates simcha with material success, and for that reason the old and the terminal are the least simchas. They have no chance of getting the simcha anymore. They're finished, they're out of it. Who is more rejected in our society than old people? There's not a single class of people who are more rejected than the old people and the sick people. Nobody wants to look at them or think about them because there's such a stira, such a contradiction to the simcha that is espoused by our society. And that will lead me, hopefully, to some kind of answer to you. It seems to me that in counseling today, it is necessary to artfully help the person to come to a level of emunah on that person's level where they are now, because only with that will they have true simcha. The true simcha is when the simcha is about something which endures. Something which is unenduring and is going to pass away, like Olam Hazeh, there's no simcha. That which is enduring, that is some grounds for real simcha. And in fact, the real pathway to simcha is to contemplate and think about how it is that this thing that I'm doing, let's say the Shabbos that I'm celebrating, is actually the gateway to eternal happiness and eternal tranquility and eternal satisfaction. And so it is with all the mitzvahs, this act of tzedakah, this act of chesed, each mitzvah in itself. Now this is not something that you just switch on. It's something you have to work on. You have to prime yourself, particularly those of us who've grown up in this sick culture. We've got to learn to value other things than the things that the advertising guys want us to value. I mean, to really get into your tefillin and to think you have in your hands Kisra the Malka, the crown of the king. To get into your tzedakah, a coin moves from one hand to another. So you've got Yud K Vav K, the 10 fingers and the 5 fingers and the coin and the fingers. That's godliness. You have to focus on these things. over and over again until the real simcha comes forth. Now, how you do this in a half-hour consultation with a terminally sick person, that's very difficult. I mean, that is the real skill. But on the table there, A Call to Live is a book that I wrote specifically for people in deep crisis and terminal illness and so on. And I tried to provide in that book some of the answers of Reb Nachman's pathway to this quest for simcha when we do have to break out of the norms of the prevailing culture. It's a very delicate art, and I can only wish you atzlacha, but I would say that all the time you have to let your conversation focus on what is eternally valuable. For example, I mean, somebody's telling me, I remember a conversation I had with an uncle of mine 25 years ago who was dying of cancer. I knew that I would not see him again. He was very poorly, but I went to visit him for what I thought would be about a 15-minute visit, and I said to him, well, what did you accomplish in your life? And he started telling me a very interesting thing. I'm not going to tell it now, maybe I will sometime when I'm here in New York, but a very beautiful story. He got so into it, and he was overjoyed at the opportunity to share some of the good that had been in his life. Well, now, this is a very important thing for people in transition from this world to the next world, to be able to focus on the truly good things in their life. If you can find a way in counseling to draw them around, to appreciate. I mean, I know it's very difficult, you know, when it comes to practice, actually doing it. Nevertheless, I think the focus should be on spreading joy over that which is eternal, and that you do by trying to feel out the person's good points and the good things they've done. And there is a way. I mean, and this is why true spiritual healing can continue even where the doctors are powerless, because the doctor cannot heal the body, but the true spiritual healer can bring that equanimity to the soul, that the person can be satisfied that they, when the time comes, they'll be able to leave and feel okay about it, because they haven't appreciated the true Tov. And the true Tov, that is the avenue to the true Simcha. Would anyone else like to make a point or ask a question? If anybody feels the need to leave, don't be embarrassed. I know it's getting late, and we've been going on for quite some time, but those who would like to stay, if we can, be happy to answer more questions.
I'd like to thank Rabbi Greenbaum very much for a beautiful evening. We're going to be back here. We will be back here next Tuesday night. Rabbi Greenbaum will be speaking on the Ramchal. Tomorrow night we're in Manhattan, in Midtown, and Thursday night in the Upper East Side. Sunday we're in Clifton, New Jersey. Monday we're in the Upper West Side, and Tuesday night again back here. Well, the schedule is on the table. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the
Rabbi Greenbaum. Thank you so much. Anybody who did give a contribution?
I want to thank again Rabbi David Sears and Rabbi Fund and my cousin Reuven. Thank you so much.
By the way,